Alright, what's up guys? Hunter Go here with a special guest, Lazarius Decatur. We're going to hit a couple of different topics this evening. We had some technical difficulties to start off the night.
Evening?
Evening.
It's 11.
Yeah,
It's 11
well,
o'clock.
this PM, I guess. About to be AM. But, anyways, what's the first thing we're going to talk about? This one.
All you old, diehard Alabama fans, we're going to talk about the downfall of Alabama
Roll Tide.
and Nick Saban and his dynasty. But how his dynasty is coming to an end.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say injuries. I would say Tua. And I'll just leave it at that. I think the next 4 years, I'll just say this. The next 4 years for you non-Alabama fans, it's going to be really, really interesting.
Okay, well, I will say this. As a very unbiased opinion on not one team, I sort of don't have a favorite team anymore because I've been going to Alabama, been an Auburn fan my whole life. My best friend plays at Auburn. So, I really honestly like to see both of them do good, but I don't know if you know how many 5 stars are in the nation as a whole, and it's either 25 or 35 in football. One or two. But Clemson has 8 of them committed.
Yeah.
Just Clemson alone. I think that recruiting, people are starting to catch up to Alabama in recruiting wise because you can only do so much in facilities and stuff like that. I think everybody's starting to really catch up as far as, like I said, just facilities and recruiting wise. I think, you think so? I think Alabama's still obviously above par when it comes to that, but I just think with time and obviously money, that other schools are catching up, and it shows. And like I said, yeah, I do feel like injury had a big role in it. I mean, they had one of the best linebackers in the nation not play this year.
Yeah, that was huge on defense. You know, Alabama's
Oh,
built
yeah.
on defense, winning championships with a defense. And I think, you know, not to get off topic just yet, but I think that's what hurt Clemson. I think LSU had a fabulous year, but the Clemson's defensive line the past 2 years has been outstanding, to say the least. And I think this year was just kind of not really a down year for Clemson at all, but, you know, you started seeing some of those guys, the freshmen that were out there getting it last year, you know, with Ross. He was one of the standouts last year.
Don't know how he left the state of Alabama. Me and Cam actually went to camp with him,
Yeah.
and had no clue how Alabama or Auburn did not get him. But
Dabo, man. I think that's all it was. I think, yeah, I mean, you got a young coach like Dabo, and, you know, not to throw any shade at Gus, but it's Gus Malzahn. You got people love him for the wins, and I mean, want to hang him for the losses. So, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I'm not one of those Alabama fans that's like, you see on Facebook where we're firing Nick Saban after we get beat by LSU. No, that's ridiculous.
yeah, I've seen that stuff just makes me cringe, and really, it makes people it makes people put
Stupid.
all Alabama fans into one category
Yeah,
when
oh yeah,
you have
absolutely.
people like that, because you start stereotyping
Yeah,
every Alabama fan because the selects few
I agree.
or are that way,
And
and
you see him every freaking game on Facebook. I'm like, did this dude even play football? Did he play sports? I'm not gonna mention any names, but I think it was a DJ. Basically, you know, big Jalen Hurts fan, die hard, obviously. So this is kind of a funny story. Me and Briley sat down and was like, well, we haven't been to Alabama game together. We're gonna buy tickets. Hopefully they make it into the playoffs. Tua comes back, from his ankle injury, gets hurt at Mississippi State, and then we still have a shot, I believe, truly, because I knew Georgia would get beat, to get past Auburn. We didn't do it. We still had tickets. Went and watched Jalen play and get absolutely murdered by LSU. But it's funny. I got a funny story out of this. So we're in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's about the third quarter, and like they're already getting beat by 40. Me and brother are like, well, let's just go down. You know, we'll have a couple of drinks, whatever. And this guy from LSU comes up, and dude probably just graduated college, and kind of goes back to what you're saying, the stereotypical LSU fan. Everybody knows how an LSU fan is. It's terrible.
I took a track visit during the Alabama LSU game.
Yeah. So this dude approaches me like, I'm wearing a Jalen Hurts jersey, Oklahoma jersey. Not an Oklahoma fan by any means, but I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. Comes up to me, oh, how do you like getting your beat? And I just look at him and said, dude, y'all got lucky this year. I promise you, the next 5 years, Alabama will beat y'all by 20. And he looked at me and said, wait, you're not an Oklahoma fan? I said, no, I'm not. And he literally, like, you're not surprised, didn't say another word. Just looked at me and was like, oh, yeah, you're right. And his response was, man, yeah, you're right. If y'all had a healthy two, y'all would probably beat us by 14. That's his verse, not mine. His verse. I don't know if it would have been my 14 because I think LSU had a heck of a year. Joe Burrow just lit it up, honestly. And the receivers that he had around him, you know, I'm not going to downplay them. They were good, but they weren't. In my eyes, I don't think they were Alabama Jerry Jeudy good as far as across the board. Now they had it was more of a chemistry, I think.
I think those guys. It's really hard to compare receivers, especially like collegiate level, because I think those guys are different.
They have different roles.
Yeah, and they're just different. Their body type's just different than Jerry Judy's. Like if you notice, like the way he runs routes and stuff, and the way he makes separation, those guys are. The guys that Burrow is on the ball to are more physical. They get open and stuff like that. They catch.
But they're gonna go up and get it.
But they're physical guys.
Yeah.
Like
that's why I like watching this shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's like me. That comes down. I seen a thing. The debate is if Joe Burrow has had the best season in college football ever as a quarterback. And that's a really touchy subject too. But in my opinion, he has. In my opinion, Cam Newton was probably the best. Had the best.
I don't. It's like
if you look at stat wise,
it's like comparing Jordan and LeBron.
It is, but at the same time, if you look at stat wise, okay, you can say, all right, Joe Burrow had the best season throughout the year. Okay. Regular season, he had the best season throughout the year. Well, Cam Newton didn't have a playoff system.
Right.
Burrow played more games than he did.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton, there's not one person on his offense that is in the NFL right now. Not one person.
Yeah, they're trash.
In the NFL. He was single-handedly beating teams like by himself.
With his legs.
He had a good running back that had potential to be good, but couldn't stay off drugs, stuff like that. And at the same time, like, also, you got to think, there's no telling how many people from the LSU team that's going to go, that's going to be playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just really feel like taking over a game by himself, really controlling the game, I feel like Cam Newton had to do it more by himself. This is nothing taken away. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Joe Burrow or anything like that. But if you look at it number wise, people say Tom Brady's a guy. He has 6 rings.
Mm-hmm.
I can get down with that. Okay. If you base the GOAT off of stat wise throughout the regular season, like people want to argue saying regular season because, like I said, Cam Newton didn't have a playoff system, so he didn't get to play a postseason like Burrow did. So they're like, oh well, he had a better regular season. Well, if we're being honest with each other, if you're just basing off the regular season, then then Tom Brady's not really the GOAT because there's multiple times where he won a Super Bowl that his season he didn't really have the best season, but he had the best. Yeah. He performed when it mattered, and that's why he is the GOAT.
I don't know. It's like comparing apples to oranges. I don't think. I hate when people try to compare somebody because Joe Burrow's not Cam Newton by any means. I don't think, and I could be completely wrong. I don't think Joe Burrow and Cam Newton will be comparable in the NFL because they're two different styles of quarterback. I mean, plain and simple. Everybody knows that. Cam can run with a laptop and Burrows can throw a laptop. So, I don't know. And I'm just kidding with the laptop thing. I don't really care if he saw a laptop or not. He came back. He came to T-Town and beat Alabama. About 21 of them that year.
By itself.
Yeah, by itself.
Down to halftime.
Yeah. And, you know, on one of the best defenses in college football at that time. Too. I mean, that was prime time. You know,
if you take a look at the defense that he played against and look at the defenses that Burrow played against, take the defense. Burrow beat a defense at Alabama that has that's unheard of.
Like Mike Sheila defense.
Yeah, that's unheard of for Alabama to have a defense like that.
Yeah. Which is due to injuries, and we had some transfers too. But
there's a bunch of people that transfer portal is a big thing right now. It's so easy, and I think that the reason why the transfer portal was put in place is because to transfer, you have to get released, and teams were not releasing these people, and they were keeping them there, which is not right. But now it is so easy to transfer that when things go wrong, one thing goes wrong, kids are transferring out just like that because what do normal people do? They take the easy way out.
Yep.
And it's hurting a lot of teams and stuff like that. But
I think in the interim, I think it's hurting. I wouldn't say all of them. I would say it's 50-50. Most of the people that do end up transferring either end up not playing, or they end up not even making it to the league. And that's what they're fighting for.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, depending on which conference you go to, where you transfer out to, regardless, you're going to sit out. That's a year that you're not going to play.
Yeah.
If you're not redshirting or medical redshirting or something like that, I can see if you get injured, you take a medical redshirt, you enter the transfer pool.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. But
it's going to be interesting next year.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
But
I think
I don't know. I certainly don't think that. I mean, I know we started off talking about Alabama's downfall, and we were joking about that, but I don't even know if you can call it a downfall. It's just a disappointing. It's just a disappointing year for Alabama fans.
You lose two games.
You lose 2 games, and
and
you're not playing with your best player on defense and your best player on offense. I mean, you can't really ask for much more than that.
And you get beat by the number 1 team, 4 or 5 points, and then you get beat at Auburn in a tough environment.
By an Auburn team that almost beat LSU at LSU.
Exactly. And they beat Oregon. Man, that was a good Auburn team, fair and square. I hate Auburn. I'll just put it out there. It's not really against Auburn. It's against Mazon because you got so many athletes at Auburn, and you have no playbook on offense. And that's my 2 cents, and that's where
brings up another subject. Gus Malzahn actually gave up his play calling authority today.
And I guarantee there's a bunch of players that are very happy with that.
That actually just happened today. It's one of the things we were going to hit on. But yeah, I don't know. I certainly think that this next coming year will be an eventful year, and I'm excited for football already.
The SEC is going to be stacked. I mean, seriously.
The SEC was stacked this year. I mean, look, this is like this year. I mean, think about the teams that were good. Florida arguably had the best all-around defense in the nation, honestly.
And the offense isn't too far behind. And I'm telling you, Tennessee is one of those teams that is on the brink of being a 10-2 team or
They've been on the brink for
83 team. But I'm telling you,
next year, I'm telling you, dude, next year Tennessee's gonna be good. We've been hearing that for 10 years.
I get it.
I hope they are. I like it whenever it's spicy like that.
Well, it's good. I mean, because you think about it, it's just like what happened to Alabama 2 or 3 years ago. You beat up on each other every week in, week out. Well, when you do that and you go face an Ole Miss team that's subpar, has been subpar, and they're not ranked where they could be, should be, and you go out and blow them out. But then one of your best players gets hurt, or 2 or 3 or 4, well, then guess what? Next week you play whoever, and you lose. Let's just say you lose. That Ole Miss game isn't going to mean anything, but losing all those players, that's going to mean something. So, and really, you know, what I'm trying to get at is once all these teams get established, Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin comes in, does what he needs to do. I think Ole Miss will be right back to where they were in being ranked. You got Auburn, and they'll be ranked top 15. Alabama, top 10. Mississippi State probably will.
Mississippi State has one of the best linebackers in the SEC.
Yeah.
From Florence, actually returning for his senior year, so
That would be big for them.
yeah, for sure.
What were they ranked at?
Of course, last year.
Top 25.
Yeah, they're top 25.
So you got Mississippi State top 25, Georgia be up there, Vandy. I don't really know what happened to them halfway through the season. Just wheels fell off the bus.
I think they got an injury trouble too.
So and then you got Tennessee that's kind of on the line.
We'll see. That's all I'm gonna say about Tennessee.
I was just like what every Vols fan says, brick by brick. So we'll see how many bricks they stack up this year.
Sorry, Miss Miles, if you see this, but
yeah,
you're gonna have to prove it to me.
It's gonna be. I don't know. I look forward to it, even though I don't hardly ever watch any games because I'm at work. But
well, I know one thing. Whenever I was getting recruited in high school, I went and visited Memphis a few times, and they got a young, energetic coach, Coach Norvell, Mike Norvell. He just got hired at Florida State, and he brings a lot of energy and has an explosive offense. I feel like Florida State. I mean, he has the tools now, Florida State, to recruit like just like the best of any. I mean, with the best of them. And he was bringing 4 stars into Memphis.
yeah,
So-
and Memphis like put themselves on the map big
Yeah.
time the past 2 years.
For sure. And
I mean-
I really feel like he's going to make some noise at Florida State. I'm looking forward to see that one too, because I liked whenever teams were good outside the SEC.
Yeah,
Like, in my opinion. I mean, obviously I'm biased toward the SEC. I don't know. But Florida State, hopefully they'll get going back up and be another good team.
they need
Down
to.
here,
It's been.
It's been a little bit. Bro, they got good recruits. They get really good recruits. They just.
What happened? All right, so I know you had to say the guy that the picture is going around on Twitter. They're on offense, and the guy is lined up the wrong direction, wide out. You know what I'm talking about?
That was. I'm pretty sure. What you talking about the one where they spiking the ball?
No.
Then they had to run something away from it, like a pause play or something like that. They had to run something. Like he just ran a normal play and just lined up backwards.
Yes.
I don't know.
I'm trying to do. They had some mishaps. That's a mishap over there at Florida State this year. I'm not really sure what was going on, but
Did they legalize weed in Florida or something?
what is it?
They legalize weed or something in Florida? Recently?
No, probably those. What was that? Bath salts.
Oh, bath salts. Yeah, that was bad.
I think they're that. I think that one out of bath salt. All right. So we talked about the transfer portal. Talked about how you think it's. You think it's good? Are you for it? In some ways.
I'm 50-50 on it, I guess. If there's it needs some tweaks, but I like what they try to do, because I don't think. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing about me. I don't know. I'm young. Like I said, I don't know much, but I know one thing. You can't talk about something if you haven't been. Like if you haven't been in the situation, you haven't been there, done that. Like I said, and I don't feel like you can speak on it. And I hear people all the time. Oh, that transfer portal ruined everything. Yada yada yada. They ain't never been to college athlete. They don't know what it's like. People get stuck places all the time that they don't want to be.
Yeah.
Or the promise stuff that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's not always like
sunshine, right?
Yeah, it's not always. I mean, the college world's a business.
Yeah.
Like,
I
promise you, it's a straight up business, and there's no mercy. You either get it done or you don't. I promise you.
Yeah.
I've been there firsthand on both sides of it, and like I said, the problem was that people were getting stuck in places they didn't want to be, and people weren't releasing them, and which, I mean, your good coaches, you're gonna see your good coaches aren't gonna let somebody in the program that don't want to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I mean, that's just hindering the program.
But you're gonna have those select few that don't want to see anybody go to certain places, stuff like that. So I feel like if there's some tweaks and stuff in it, I feel like it could be a really good thing. I just feel like right now it's just like a little bell route, and a lot of people are hitting the tap out button
I agree.
and leaving. And sometimes, like you said, most of the time hurt themselves.
So you're in Jalen's shoes.
Okay, in Jalen's shoes. I actually got to talk to Jalen a couple times at study hall. We had sit at the same group. I posted on Facebook for a lot of people to see, but on Wednesday nights we sat at the same group every Wednesday night at study hall.
So what do you think as far as how he handled himself throughout the season behind Tua, and what do you think? What's your opinion on him transferring to Oklahoma?
I think his situation is different than anybody's that's ever happened to, I guess, just simply because of what he done, and he still was like nobody's ever done what he's done.
No,
like true freshman went in. I mean,
26 and 10.
Lost 2 games and gets benched because he's not good enough.
Yeah.
Like that's unheard of. So I feel like his situation is a little different. I feel like I don't know if it'll ever be like that. I don't know if the same thing will ever happen again, honestly. But like I mean, you guys are saying
it'll happen again.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Because dude, I'll put it to you like this. Let's say you take out Jalen and you take out Tua. Plain and simple. And you have can't even think of his name. Quarterback for Alabama right now.
Jones.
Yeah, Jones. You take Mac Jones out, and he's been there for the past 2 years. Started at Alabama. Led up to the national championship, whatever. Had a down year this year. He's returning next year. And you have a kid like Bryce Young come in, #1 overall, #2 in basically the entire world as a quarterback. It happens again.
I know, but at the same time,
and I get it, the record's not there as far as Jalen's and the accomplishments that Jalen's done.
I know, but think about this. You take Jalen Hurts, you put him on LSU's team this year.
Yeah.
What does he do? Do you think it's the national championship?
No. I think he leads in there. I don't think he wins it.
Okay, that's reasonable, but at the same time, you're not. Those 2 quarterbacks, in my opinion, could have went and started almost anywhere in the country. Both of them. Tua and Jalen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Any program in the country.
Mac Jones, and if you take Mac Jones, he might not start at every team in the country.
I don't know.
I mean, he's good, but I don't think
Alabama recruiting for a reason.
I get that, but I mean, this is a sensitive subject. But I think there's probably 2 people on their quarterback roster right now that's not that good that I've seen them in person.
I agree.
I'm just saying.
And I would say, yeah, I agree 100%. And and I'll speak on this. Inside source has told me, and I don't know if this is out to the public, and I don't even know if it's going to happen for sure. You may have already heard it. If Tua left, Bryce Young came in, then Talia was transferring to LSU.
Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. He'll probably never watch this. I'm sorry, Talia, if you watch this, but I've seen you play live, and I wasn't impressed. I'm sorry, I just was not impressed. You were playing against a very good Hoover team.
Well, and I think
you completed one pass the whole night, and then overthrew 2 touchdown passes that were wide open.
But I think you get those recruits because hey, we want Tua, and for us to keep Tua was to bring in Talia for 5 years and watch him progress, kind of like Mac. And if something happens, then you have a backup that's subpar. I would say he could go to Division I college, maybe not the SEC, somewhere and play. Talia. Somewhere. Now, like Cal or somewhere like that. Like Pac-10, I can see it.
Well, he may come out and be one of the best quarterbacks ever. I'm just saying,
I'm not.
From what I've seen, the caliber quarterback he is, he's not. I mean, I think the guy coming in, I think he's way better than him already. But,
yes, yeah, absolutely.
But all I'm saying is, I don't know, Jalen Hurts, I've talked to him, and we sort of got off the subject there for a second, but Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, is one of a kind, and his label is rare breed, and I really think he's a rare breed. Like this this has nothing to do with physical or nothing. Like he talked to me, and it was my first semester there, and all he did was pound on, explain to the younger guys. That's all he does is try to explain to the younger guys. There's life after this and stuff like that, because athletes around that area at Alabama are treated like gods. He'll tell you, that's what he told me. He said, man, we're treated like gods around here. Like, these people don't realize. He said, after a month or two, he said, they're already brainwashed. Like, think they can do anything they want to. You're on top of the world. He said, I promise you, I've been on top of the world and had it taken away from me just like that. Yeah. He said, that's what I tried to do. He said, I didn't realize until it happened, but ever since the whole situation, he said, I tried to talk to all the younger guys, literally day in, day out. This has to end. It's going to end eventually. It can end tomorrow, or you can go and have a full career in the NFL and stuff like that. But he just, at his age, I literally felt like I was talking to like an old coach or a mentor or something like that, and I was talking to somebody that was a few years older than me. Right. Yep. Because, like I said, he's done it all. At that young of age, he's won a championship. Right. Lost 2 games, but yet been a backup quarterback.
I mean, it's like I said previously, he's a young fan. I want to see anybody be successful. But what I hate seeing, and it goes back to kind of what you said, is, a guy gets to a program and he's like, man, this fit isn't for me. Whether that's coaching, whether that's whatever. I think that's what I hate seeing, is like somebody not, and I'm not talking about Jalen, but somebody getting beat out of a position. And you have it best really at Auburn this year. You had Gatewood and you had what's his name? Bo Nix. And they battled it out. Bo Nix came and won the job, and what happened to Gatewood? See, I'm out. Now, was that the right fit for him? Me personally, I think it was. I think Kentucky would fit him a little bit better, but as far as being in his house and the way, the style he played in, and was it just, he just didn't want to compete? You know what I mean? And I don't know that, but that's what I hate seeing.
I think
it's just too easy. It's too easy to cop out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's true, but I think it was a little different in that scenario, but that does happen in a lot of scenarios, just based off of what I hear from actual players and stuff like that. Like I said, obviously Cam plays there, and I go down there and hang out with a bunch of them, made friends with a bunch of people on the team and stuff like that. And honestly, like their spring and stuff, which a lot of people don't know, but Joey, he broke his hand. He had to have surgery on his hand, so he was down throughout. I mean, just off the rip. But Nick's had advantage on him because he wasn't getting reps all the time.
Absolutely.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that played into that one, but I don't know. Like I said, I think it'd be good and a bad thing. Another thing that could be happening, it's not set in stone, but Freddie might be coaching.
No, I think it just got set in stone. Yeah. Alabama. I'm just seeing.
But I also thought that the other one was set in stone too.
Yeah.
And then he went from leaving Ole Miss to go to the Giants, and then back to Ole Miss as an assistant head coach.
Alabama just released something. I just seen that on Facebook. Let's see.
This is just a fun fact. This is
Yeah, 24/7 Sports just released it. So it's gotta be pretty legit.
This is just a fun fact. Has nothing to do with football, but it's a little cold outside, and where we're at right now. Obviously, we're not inside, but we're in the studio, and this was trending on Twitter that iguanas. It's so cold in Florida that iguanas are about to start falling out of trees. What do you think about that?
That's crazy, dude.
Just walking down the road and iguanas falling out of trees.
Yes.
That's like us just walking through there and squirrels. Except for those lands can actually do some damage to you.
That's wild. I'm glad to see that's trending on Twitter.
It is. There's a bunch of stuff trending on Twitter right now. Kansas got into a big fight.
Was that girls or boys?
That was boys.
Who are they?
Bench cleared, everything. Full out brawl.
Wow.
That's all I like to see.
Yeah.
Need something like that.
Unless that's your team, then that's gonna hurt you. In the long run.
It's good for them a little bit, I think.
It's good. It's good in practice, just not on TV.
Yeah, it's definitely not what you want your kids saying.
No. Alright, so talking about Jalen, I seen on Facebook where I guess it was Reese's the Senior Bowl. They actually did half and half helmet, half Alabama, half Oklahoma. My take on that was, I think it's a little disrespectful. I think you could have gave him maybe a gift of the helmet, and I think that would have been pretty cool. But he doesn't play that well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's my thing too. Alabama fans, they just let him go. He don't play there no more.
I don't think it's Alabama.
He made his decision. I don't know. I think it's a lot of Alabama fans that are just attached to him. It makes me mad too because
I think every Alabama
the
fan
whole time.
they find is
Not every
they either supported him while he was there, or you just have some of those that were like, oh my God, get him out of the game. Let somebody else play. And then he transfers too. He gets hurt. Oh man, I wish we had Jalen.
Exactly.
Sorry, y'all wanted him going.
That's what I was gonna say. Well, that's my whole thing on it. I don't know. There's some of I know for a fact some of the people that I follow on social media and stuff were some of the ones that were saying, get him out of here, yada yada. He sucks.
I think
he sucks. He's lost the whole 2 games. Get him out of here. And now they're just like praising him and all this stuff. And I think that he made the decision to leave Alabama.
The best decision he's made.
And that, yes, I think that was a good decision. And I think that he needs to let it go. Like if you listen to all of his interviews, he's, like I said, he's happy that everything happened to him the way that it did. And he has that was a new beginning for him. That was a new chapter. I feel like people never close the last one.
Yeah, I think you're right, 100%. But I also think that kind of goes back to what I said. Is I think the Alabama fans that are still, because I can honestly say this, when we were at the game, the Oklahoma LSU game, I swear to you, you'd be surprised at how many Alabama fans were there with Jones jerseys on.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
And it's, you know,
There's
and
nothing
I
wrong
don't
with
know,
that.
I don't
Like I said,
know.
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
But yeah,
that's the way I am
I
about
definitely
certain.
get it. Where you're coming from is, I could call out
I mean,
a handful right now on
Yeah.
Facebook. It's just, it's
People
every game. Like, they do
people
the
get-
same thing about basketball. Oh, we need Oates going. Oh man, we beat Auburn. That's undefeated. Now we need to keep him.
yeah.
Like, no, you just need to get back to your day job. Just stop broadcasting on Facebook. And I'm not a broadcaster either. We're just doing this for fun. But I mean, just common sense. Like,
The thing is, like, people, like I said, I just can't stand when people feel like they know about something if they have never even done it. Like, most people that are like that have never even played sports and don't have no clue what they're talking about. It just makes me so mad. It makes me cringe.
Yep.
But like I said, the only thing about that whole helmet thing is, so I was talking to you earlier about the way that those senior bowls work. Because there's people that graduate and don't play and then come back and play in those senior bowls or whatever, but they use the helmet of the team that the place that you graduated from. And technically, you graduated from Alabama.
That's true.
So,
That's a good point earlier.
Like I said, I don't know. I think it's cool. Then again,
And I think the media on that too is just,
oh yeah.
you know, a lot of that stuff that you see is still about Jalen.
I mean,
and
look,
the media.
that's the media.
You know what I mean? They're
We're
doing
talking
everything.
about it right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They done their job because we're talking
Exactly.
about it right now. That's how they get paid. So
But next thing I do want to hit on, because we talked about it a little bit earlier, and I thought it was pretty interesting, is the Aaron Hernandez story.
oh gosh.
For all of you that haven't watched the series, documentary, whatever you want to call it, I thought it would be an actual documentary, like 3 hour long. But they broke it up into parts for whatever reason, and it's on Netflix. Y'all definitely need to check it out. It was interesting. You know, I think there could have been some things that probably would have helped him, but you know, so me and Zara were talking, and I had actually made the comment that I think Urban Meyer could have helped out. But really, it goes back to, and every high school is different, and I know that for sure, but it really started in high school. You know what I mean? After his dad died, like what happened? You know what I mean? Somebody, obviously nobody took care of him. He went to his aunt's house, did whatever he could, whenever. And I think that's where he got associated with the 2 guys that helped him murder his best friend, so on and so forth. But it goes back to character, I would say, personally. You know, after I graduated in 2012, I would go back to the Brooks games, and there's people that you see, you want to see them successful, and you're gonna reach out to those guys, plain and simple. Why did that not happen to this kid? You know what I mean? I don't know. Brady is still winning Super Bowls without him, but Brady could have definitely used.
He did this year. He's old.
That's true.
Me
Which
and
is
Kyle,
that's another topic.
me and Kyle, we sort of.
It's a hot topic.
Well, yeah, we talk. He likes Brady, but I tell him Brady's washed up now, and he'll never win another Super Bowl, and he don't like that very much.
I believe it.
But he might end up winning another one. We'll see.
He won't be with the Patriots.
Yeah, he actually said something about he was open-minded to go.
That's one of those.
Anyways,
What about
but what you're saying about the Aaron Hernandez case, I have a little different opinion on stuff like that, just simply because I feel like my situation, I don't know, like I said, I don't know what the show said, but I feel like I was sort of in somewhat of the same situation, and I feel like everybody, regardless of the situation that you're in, I feel like everybody has you make your own decisions.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I I had a lot of help and stuff like that, people helping me that he may not have at certain points in my life. But I feel like I said, regardless of the situation you're put in, you make your decisions and you decide like what you want to become. You decide. I mean, you make your own destiny. You can look at it as, I'm in this situation. I don't want to be like that.
Right.
Like, I don't want to end up like that. Or you can let it bring you down, and which
Yeah.
I get. Some people aren't mentally. I mean, some people aren't as mentally strong as other people are.
But
I
dude,
guess that's part of it. But
you know, good
I just don't feel sorry for.
he basically already had a offer from the University of Connecticut, and what he was 14.
8th grade.
Yeah, 8th grade. And then Florida reached out to him. And at what point do you say to yourself, in whatever situation you're in, dude, I'm about to go play football at Team Tito, which was one of the top prospects in this class, going to the University of Florida. And then you had all those other guys at Florida or going to Florida. Why do you not try to strike your offer? And then to get down there and to still do the things that you're doing, I just don't get it. Like, you put me in a situation to be successful, somebody else set that up. Hey, you're talented enough to get there, but somebody's helping you along the way. Do what's right.
Sure.
And spend your 3 years doing whatever. And I'm pretty sure Florida will help you out in any way they can as far as.
I mean, they're gonna help you out.
Yeah.
You're helping them out for sure.
Exactly.
It says.
And then
Best
go
tight
make
ends
your.
in the league.
Go to the Patriots, sign a 1-year deal, and then get picked back up by the Patriots for $40 million deal for 5 years, and you're still doing it. I don't get it though.
Shooting people. We have
Yeah.
really described the details. But this guy was out killing people and then going back to the training facility every day acting like everything was fine. Going back to his family like he was fine. He was
I'll double off.
yeah.
Literally. I mean, dude was messed up. For sure. But, you got anything else that you want to talk about? There's something else that I was going to talk about. Let's do one more thing.
We talked about AB.
Yeah.
The last one.
I think we need to save that one. Because I feel like in a week or two there's going to be more stuff come up
Yeah.
on AB.
It's only been a week and something else happened.
Yeah, he's a trending topic right now that isn't very good. But let's go out on a limb. Who wins MVP next year in the league?
MVP next year in the league. You know, I gotta go with my boy again. Well,
Take Lamar again?
I'm a Lamar fan, man. I was on a visit when he had his breakout. I was on a visit to
Louisville.
To Louisville when
I remember.
when he had his breakout game against Florida State. I've just been a fan of Lamar Jackson ever since.
I remember that game.
So I'm sort of biased, but I'd say either him. It's just so hard for a running back, in my opinion, to win the MVP. And honestly, like, what else could Derrick Henry have done? What else could have?
I was leaning towards the same thing. I mean, what's really interesting is where does he land?
Yeah.
If the Titans don't race on this man, dude.
Oh, they'll have to re-sign him for. He has to be the highest paid running back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
I mean, there ain't no doubt about it. But
Because if they don't, somebody else is going to.
yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those things where you get a backfield looking pretty decent for Brady and things will open up.
Sure. I'm curious to see some of these guys that we're talking about the league. I'm curious to see some of these guys that are not signed right now, that are off doing stuff like we said, Antonio Brown and Josh Gordon, all them. I'm curious to see where they land because if they straighten up. Except most of them honestly probably won't ever play again, but if they straighten up and they get picked up by some people, it It could start making some stuff up for sure.
And
Cam Newton, you gotta think. Cam Newton, is he done? Is he washed up, or is he gonna get signed again?
He'll get signed. And this is really interesting. I sit there and watch Green Bay play, and I don't know Aaron Rodgers' contract deal or whatever, but I would like to see Cam in Green Bay.
I personally would like to see Cam in Atlanta. He's from Atlanta. Matt Ryan, he's horrible.
Yeah, but
he sucks.
And you got. I don't know. It's interesting.
The
league's gonna be interesting this year.
Oh yeah, for sure. The guys going into it, is Miami gonna be good? They're gonna get some draft picks.
Yeah.
They started picking it up towards the end of the year.
Yeah. But they're still terrible.
Yeah, they're still terrible.
You think it starts with the coach?
Okay. Do you think Lamar Jackson? You think the teams have started adapting to what he's doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it started with Deshaun Watson. I think the league started picking up on that and like, hey, we can actually use these guys as quarterback. Because think about it, everybody said Lamar Jackson is a bust. Can never play in the league. And I literally on Twitter, I tried to find it the other day, was like Lamar Jackson will win MVP in 5 years in the league.
Bro, I'm telling you, I watched this man, like I said, live, front row.
Annihilate for us.
Yes, by himself, and I knew right then. I can't remember if that was. I think Cam was on that one. I went like 3 times, but we both went, and I sat there and told who I was with. I was like, this guy's gonna be a freak. Like, he's gonna win the Heisman. He's gonna be a freak. And I'm telling you, like, I don't know. Everybody's like, well, they stopped. They adjusted to Cam Newton after a year.
Yeah, but Lamar Jackson's different than Cam Newton.
Exactly, that's my point. Lamar Jackson, there's nobody in the league that's like Lamar Jackson.
And I think that's one thing with Cam too that hurt Cam later on in the season is Cam's what, 6 foot? 6'6".
250.
He's a giant and he plays quarterback.
He bangs it between the tackles.
Yeah.
His running style is different than Lamar Jackson.
You're not gonna last in the league.
No.
It doesn't matter if you're playing 10 touch, you're not gonna last as long these days. I mean, people are out to hit you. And they ain't caring if they're getting ejected or not. And I love it. I think that
I do think that we have a whole, this is probably touchy for all you old heads. I know there used to be hard hitting safeties and stuff, Sean Taylor and all them. But I think there's, as a whole, more hard hitting safeties in the NFL now than there's ever been. There's as a whole, DBs in general.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta think like Jonathan Abram, Jamal Adams. There's people. Tyrann Mathieu, just about almost every team has a safety that will come up and hit you. So I don't know. Like I said, people's like, oh, the game's soft now. The game's soft, but it's not because the players want it to be soft.
I think last year, and this is just me personally, and I'm serious when I say this. I watched 3 NFL games this year, and it was because I'm off work. And if I'm not off work, I watch bits and pieces, but not much. Last year I was up a ton, and I couldn't stand watching the NFL. I don't know if it was like one of those transitions where, hey, we got to figure out when people can hit each other and when they can't. And this year they finally figured it out. And then the amount of players that came in the league that brought, I would say, passion back into the league, because I think that's what the league missed, was that playoff mentality throughout the season into the postseason. Because throughout the season it was just like, we're going to get our million either way. You know what I mean? It wasn't Lamar Jackson went out there breaking ankles 3 years ago in the regular season. It just wasn't, plain and simple. Now you see that almost every single game, and those are the type of players I like to see. And those are the type of players that you want on your team.
I mean, yeah, and it's just, I don't know, the game's changing too overall.
Oh yeah.
The way the game's played and stuff like that, not just with the hits and penalties and stuff like that. The league's going to more finesse style, just like college, all college is now. majority finesse offense, but.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
And I think, I think that's what kind of made the Titans this year a little different as far as people stopping them is you had Cam, you had Deshaun Watson, and everybody was trying to imitate that. And then you had Marcus Mariota trying to do the same thing. Well, then you bring in Henry and just say, hey, we're going to line up and run it in between the tackles every single
And you don't see NFL teams a running back getting that many carries.
No.
He was good.
Nobody wants to hit that much. It's just plain and simple. And I liked it. I like to see Tennessee up there doing good.
Yeah, I like to see Tennessee doing good too, just simply because they're so close to us.
And it's good for the town of Nashville. I mean, it's already booming, but dude, think of next year. I mean, it's going to be, you sign Henry back, you bring some other guys back, you're going to be back in business. I just wish I had a professional team because we don't have MLB.
I wish Alabama had a lot of stuff.
Hockey.
Alabama had a lot, and I feel like a lot of that stuff would happen, but
Yeah.
it's another subject. We can talk about it.
Alright, guys, this is it for episode 1 with Lazarius Decatur. Leave a comment below of what you guys want to see next.
Yeah, if y'all have any sports questions or comments, or if you want to make an argument, please. A lot of you that know me know that I like to argue about sports.
And we're gonna do this, try to do it Tuesday and Thursday night at 7. The videos obviously will be uploaded Wednesday, Friday at 7 p.m. And that's kind of where we're gonna go with this thing. Trying to do twice a week. I'm gonna do different guests, different topics, and we're just gonna roll with it, man. We're gonna do some hunting, some fishing, just everything. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be exciting for sure. We're gonna put together, try to get some film creators up here, and I don't know, man. We might shoot some stuff. You got a razor now? Might get Kyle and most people would go up there somewhere ride and break crap and
Be fun.
yeah.
It's always fun until you break something.
Yeah. Well, I won't break anything. I'll be with the camera. You guys can break whatever you want to break. But till next time, we enjoyed it. We'll see you guys probably next week.
Thanks for watching.
See y'all.